Hello, you're watching News9 Live. The newly minted government in Karnataka is yet to form a cabinet and assign portfolio, but then it finds itself in the middle of what new governments usually do. What do they do? Ban or abolish what the previous government does in the wake of its tenure. You must have heard it. They renamed a street, new government will say, no, we'll go back to the old. They build a building, they'll say, no, raise it to the ground. It should be ours. This keeps happening, and the same thing is pretty much happening in Karnataka. One of the most important members of the Karnataka government, Priyank Kharge, indicated that the new government is likely to revise or withdraw certain controversial orders passed by the previous BJP regime. And let me quote him. All BJP's orders, be it textbook revision, anti-slaughter and anti-conversion, will be re-examined, close quote. He said, open quote, all bills and orders that impact the state's economic progress, prosperity and Kannadigas will be withdrawn, close quote. Priyank Kharge further reiterated that his government shall ban outfits like the Bajrang Dal and RSS if peace of the state is disturbed. So, in a way, the Congress is trying to reinvent the wheel. Many may say that these are on, of course, expected lines. If you look at it both ideologically and also for a government to stamp its arrival after a spectacular win. But we are asking you, if this is finally the Congress's attempt to erase what it calls the saffronization of Karnataka and also India. I'm saying India, you know why? Because it is the first step towards writing the opening chapter of elections 2024.
Any organization, either religious, political or social, who are going to sow seeds of discontentment, disharmony in Karnataka will not be tolerated. We will tackle them legally, we will tackle them constitutionally, be it Bajrang Dal, be it PFI, be it any other organization. We will not hesitate to ban them if they are going to be a threat to the law and order of Karnataka. We will not hesitate to ban them if they are going to do unconstitutional thing. We are not going to hesitate to ban them if they are going to do anything that will spoil the harmony of the state.
And of course, Priyank Kharge also tweeted, that's on your screen right now, the government stands firm on reviewing any bill passed by the previous BJP government that affects the image of state, deters investment, also does not create employment, is unconstitutional, violates rights of an individual. We want to build an economically and socially equal Karnataka. Priyank Kharge there very clearly also saying, yes, if any religious or political outfit tries to disrupt peace, spread communal hatred and bring disrepute to Karnataka, our government will not hesitate to tackle them legally or ban them. This is apropos the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. He ends his tweet by saying, even if it is the RSS. So, that's what Priyank Kharge is saying, or he says any other organization. So, what he said in his bite was whether it's PFI or RSS, if found to be disrupting the peace of Karnataka, the government of the day will not hesitate in banning them. But then we have to hear what the BJP, how did the BJP react to the Congress's bid of de-saffronization? Listen in.
कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता मैं उनको एक ही बात कहूंगा, आरएसएस पर बैन बहुत लोगों ने कोशिश किया और औंधे मुंह गिरे। कृपया करके एक राष्ट्रवादी संगठन पर इस तरह की हल्की बात न करें। और मैं सवाल खरगे साहब के बेटे से नहीं पूछूंगा। सोनिया गांधी, मुझे आपसे पूछना है, आपकी सोच है क्या? जवाब दें आप। खरगे साहब जवाब दें, आप जो राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष हैं, आपकी ये सोच है? तो आप गैर लोकतांत्रिक से कैसे काम करते हैं एक राष्ट्रवादी राष्ट्रभक्त संगठन के बारे में, यह स्पष्ट है। हाँ, इसलिए कृपया करके इस तरह की गैर जिम्मेदाराना टिप्पणी न की जाए।
So, what we are going to do today is, it's not just, suggesting a ban on organization like the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh or the PFI. There are other issues. When he says that all the laws will be revoked, in the sense we are reassessing them. Let's discuss it. And like this, one is the anti-conversion bill, one is the anti-slaughter bill, and the third, of course, which was very controversial, is the textbook revision in Karnataka for schools, you know, inserting certain chapters, taking out certain chapters, basically treating the little children like guinea pigs. And please, it's not just the BJP which is guilty of it, huh? Many governments before that have done this also. Let's debate. Joining me on the debate, Lavanya Balal, Congress spokesperson, of course Bhaskar Hegde, my colleague, who's editor of TV9 Kannada Digital, and Shashi Kumar, secretary, Karnataka Private School Association, and also joining us is Captain Ganesh Karge, who is the chief spokesperson for BJP Karnataka. He shall be joining us on the phone line in a bit. A very, very warm welcome to all of you. Namaskara. The first question is to my colleague Bhaskar Hegde, because we are trying to, you know, build the context on which the story is actually pegged. You know, Bhaskar, this is a kind of a de-saffronization bid, and I think, I mean, please correct me if I am wrong, since the Bharat Jodo Yatra happened, where Rahul Gandhi came to Karnataka and of course Kerala, Tamil Nadu, wherever he went, he said, Bharat Jodo, Nafrat Chodo. Let's say no to hate and let's say yes to love. Let's say yes to secular India, to the India which is different, but then it's united. So do you, and of course he spoke about Savarkar at length, he speaks about RSS whenever he gets a chance. Two things. Priyank Kharge, is his attempt to de-saffronize, you know, and revoke everything that the BJP did, which newly minted government do? And also, are they preparing for 2024, Bhaskar?
Sudha, the second question you said, I think I was about to mention that. I think, see, what Congress might be trying, I mean, strategically is, I think, to keep the tempo alive and keep the tempo up till 2024. Apart from the 5 promises they have made, the big, huge challenge, humongous task is to implement effectively. That's the first one. Apart from that, they have to keep the kind of anti-BJP sentiment. And to keep the anti-BJP sentiment, I think this particular bogey of thought is very, very crucial and helpful for Congress till at least till 2024. De-saffronization is, of course, a debatable word. Of course, Congress describes or give a kind of different description, and saffronization description from the BJP camp is different. From a public point of view, from a common man's point of view, is what does BJP or Congress government think of these kind of issues is a kind of big issue. Of course, the statement is coming, but it is not clear exactly what exactly they are going to do, because there are so many issues. For instance, if you want to ban an organization, I think the state governments may have that kind of legal power to ban any organization, because the same organization may come up in the neighboring states and they may operate there also and influence people in Karnataka. So there are so many issues. Similarly, if they are restricted to law and order issue, certainly is no doubt. So the other issues, I think it's basically playing to the gallery, number one. Number two, I think it's basically keeping the tempo for 24. You're right.
All right, you know, you've laid the, as it were, the context, you know, right now. Let me go across to Captain Ganesh Karge, who is joining us on the phone line. Captain Karge, thank you for joining us on this debate. Very, very important. I first want your reaction. How do you look at it? You know, saying that I will revoke all the bills, the controversial, they think they are controversial, and also, Captain, to say that I will ban the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and of course the PFI if they are found to be disturbing the peace of Kannadigas in Karnataka.
Thank you, Sudha. Thank you for inviting me on this panel discussion. I'm extremely sorry. I'm in a slightly remote area called Siddaramaiah, so I've not been able to join through video. Now, well, my first reaction is I'll challenge Mr. Priyank Kharge to ban RSS. Let him do it. If he means what he says, let him do it. We have faced this banning RSS earlier times also. We have come out of it without any blemish. So let him do it. It's a open challenge to Mr. Kharge, number one. Number two, the venomous snake kind of a quotation his father did during election, he is spewing venom now. Actually, I expected him to be a little more responsible in making statements. The Chief Minister doesn't make a statement, the Deputy Chief Minister doesn't make a statement. He has taken it upon himself. And comparing RSS to or Bajrang Dal to PFI, he will now listen to the music if he really does something towards that. This is one part. Secondly, when they say the saffronization of the educational content, that means they are agreeing openly that all these years they have done something with the curriculum. They have developed or they have promoted only a particular agenda through the educational narrative. Now, when national curriculum framework, as guided by the National Education Policy 2020, envisages a possibility of introducing the history of India from Indian perspective, they call it as, saffronization. Veer Savarkar and his contributions, they just cannot tolerate. Even after Mrs. Gandhi, accoladed Veer Savarkar for his contributions. So they have an agenda. They have certain ideology which is to be promoted. They want to have this divisive policy. They want to appease the minorities for vote bank. And today they want to promote that. Let them do it. Let them do it. Last 75 years we have challenged it and we will challenge it again.
Captain Karnik, if you'll allow me, I'll ask you two questions. Number one,
yes.
You said
yes.
that RSS has been banned in the past and, we've come out of it. Yes, we all remember how Sardar Patel, banned, Lo Purush banned the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh in the aftermath of the Mahatma's assassination. People who read history know this very, very well, know that, how the RSS's role, and I'm only talking about the then Home Minister, sir. Number two, you say about that they really resent the fact that, we make changes to the curriculum. I'm not talking about the greatness of Veer Savarkar. We all know the letter Mrs. Gandhi wrote. This show is not about, but you introduced Dr. Hedgewar's speech. Very good. Why not? You may say, everyone should read it. But you removed portions of Narayana Guru, Ambedkar and P. Lankesh. Somewhere one doesn't you will say that at that time it was said, oh, we are rationalizing it. But then, also Basavanna. This is Karnataka, sir. If you try and meddle with Basavanna or Akka Mahadevi, you are going to face a backlash, no? So, Captain Karnik, about the ban, also Priyank said very clearly, if found to be creating any disturbance, after all, he is not the law of the land, right? So, first is that do you agree that if the RSS, much like the PFI, creates problems, it should be banned?
Madam, the education is in the concurrent list of the Constitution. So, the state has certain responsibilities with regard to including the regional content. Right? Now, the two specific issues that you raised about Narayan Guru, now who said that has been removed? They just made a big hue and cry. It has not been removed. The earlier government has given clarification with regard to that. They made a mess out of it by saying that has been removed to, provoke the sentiments of a particular community. It has not been removed at all.
Okay, Captain, I'll ask you one question quickly and then I will go to the other guest. Why is it the Rohit Chakratirtha committee, which suggested corrections to all the textbooks, later Bommai Saab was the first one to remove him and dismantle the committee? Why? Why was it done?
No, in fact, you must appreciate if somebody has given a recommendation, some committee has given a report, if the government has not accepted it, you must appreciate that.
Right.
Supposing I order a committee and I'm not happy with the report, I'm not saying the government was happy or not happy.
Right.
So the government has not accepted the report.
Right. Let me now go to Shashi Kumar, who is Secretary, Karnataka Private School Association. Shashi, welcome to the show. Shashi, you heard what Captain Ganesh Karnik said. You and I have discussed this several times over about the saffronization bid, or rather trying to meddle with the curriculum of school children. Don't you think that it was clearly meddling without any possible logic to it.
Absolutely, no doubt, Sudha. Thanks for after a long time, but unfortunately, even Ganesh Karnik sir knows this. What is happening? Actually, each and every government comes and they talk about curriculum. Why should we put students into trouble? Because we are just poisoning the students' mindset. One, because we first of all we have failed, the entire country has failed in addressing 2014 to 2018 ncf recommendation, ncert recommendation, wherein it clearly advises several things. When our government of Karnataka has never bothered to look into the MHRD report, which says the government textbook is substandard, inappropriate, they are not standard appropriate, they have a lot of flaws. They have never bothered, earlier government never is bothered to look into this 98 pages, and they wanted only implement their mindset, that is to remove some content and to add some content. It is a rubbish. It is really it's a heights of stupidity, because unfortunately students were fed very poisonous venom, wherein in longer thing they have a very differential message. So what we say to both the government, whether it is a Congress now, we recommend or we request the government, please don't talk this on public domain and spoil the mindset of the child. Whatever you want to do it on record. First, hold the things that which we, if there is any dispute in the curriculum, please let us not bring into the limelight of the children's textbook. Before that, settle down, finalize, then come out with the provision so that the children are being fed with that. Until and unless, take the decisions in the four corners of the wall, not on the public domain. This is our request.
Absolutely, Shashi, and I agree with you. What a nightmare for little children. You know, study this. No, don't study this. Next year, study something else. Look here, look there. I mean, you're not even encouraging those little children to think for themselves. And you remember how there were no textbooks, there were no school bags, but we want to inject them with what we think is right for them. I mean, I think that's the main problem. Lavanya Balal, let me get you in now. And thank you for your patience, for waiting up. Lavanya Balal, I want you to first, just clarify this, that these are the bills that you're really, Priyank Kharge spoke about or focused on, and that being the anti-slaughter bill, the anti-conversion bill, the textbook review, and also he said that he shall ban both the RSS and the PFI if they create trouble. Now, I don't understand one thing, Lavanya, you don't have a cabinet in place. Those 5 guarantees you have to fulfill, because on day one they were made into law. What's the point of concentrating on all this? I mean, why are you trying to kind of, deflect from the real issue? You have a new government, I say. I think you should be hitting the ground running, no, Lavanya?
Good evening, Sudha. The government will start, functioning from the 28th onwards. Having said that, I would also like to remind everybody, we do not have a leader of opposition. With 66 MLAs, it shouldn't have been such a huge task for the BJP to announce their leader of opposition. Also, let me make a correction. Khargeji or the CM or the Deputy CM is not talking about revoking the bills passed by BJP. They have placed certain bills, certain actions of the BJP under review. I'll tell which all. The construction that was ordered by the BJP government from different departments, especially in the last 1 month before elections, whatever construction was ordered is under review. The sand mining permissions have been revoked, which is a huge menace in the state. Yeah. We are also looking at any issues that, especially the CM and the Deputy CM have mentioned how saffronization of the cops is not something they will approve of, and strict action will be taken. So when we talk about saffronization of the policemen, we have seen in the last couple of years how Karnataka policemen participated in the BJP programs.
Right.
Now, if the same policemen were to participate in Congress programs, would the public accept it? Is it legal? Or is the BJP not going to object to such things, right? So they are supposed to be, the police force is supposed to be neutral. They are not supposed to be flaunting their political allegiance at all. They are humans.
Right.
They will
Lavanya, you said a very good thing that, the police is supposed to be non-partisan. But unfortunately, these are the political masters, whether it is the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister today in Karnataka, or in the past, or in Uttar Pradesh, or in Madhya Pradesh, they usually have to do their bidding. We know this. I totally get it that you can't possibly be seen to be affiliated to one particular organization. But I'll come back to you, because I also want to know that is there no murmur at all for the anti-conversion bill and the anti-slaughter bill? Lavanya, just give me a minute. I'm going back to my colleague Bhaskar Hegde, editor of TV9 Kannada, to put this in better perspective. Bhaskar, tell me something. Usually political parties, since we've been covering politics, what's happened is that the difference between the BJP and the Congress is now it was made huge. The BJP would run away with every issue, as it were. But there comes a time when political parties start reflecting each other, as it were. This whole statement of if the BJP does not like, it can go to Pakistan, that jumped out at me, Bhaskar Hegde. Which constituency is Congress trying to address and appease, and for what, Bhaskar?
Sudha, this is one of the important developments, particularly political developments, which I think is the first time happening in Karnataka, in the sense I've been covering actively since 1995. Ever since I have entered the field, I haven't seen any government taking up proactive steps to scuttle or stop every project of the previous government. Yes, no doubt politically they made statements that I will put X behind the bars. If I'm elected, I will put a special court and I will send Y behind the bars or whatever. That kind of political statements and playing to the gallery, yes, no doubt. It happened during elections in the past also. But perhaps first time, what I noticed here this time is they have almost sent a signal to stop all the projects. But what Mrs. Lavanya Ballar mentioned is a kind of thing that because in the press conference they said all the projects, because they are not mentioned projects approved or started executing in the last 1 month or so. See what happens in government. If you see the government process, the circle, see when they clear the bill and everything, the work starts happening only after November, December. This is a cycle happening in every government, no matter which party is in power. See, does it mean Congress will stop all the projects, even infrastructure projects and every project approved by the BJP government? If that is so, it's a very dangerous signal that Congress is sending. Because at one hand, Mr. Kharge says Congress, Karnataka should be #1, and we will not allow Karnataka should split, and we will not allow law and order disturbance to stop the investment flow and everything. On the other, Mr. Kharge says we will review every project and we'll stop all the projects. That CM and DCM said. If that is the case, it's a bit disturbing because in the wake of development.
Absolutely right, Bhaskar Hegde, and I'm happy that both of us as colleagues are on the same page. You get the government going, you hit the ground running, get the work started, I say, more than doing this kind of a thing which may have a long impact. I'm not saying that the Congress does not have the right to do it, but at this juncture, after such a fabulous victory, you got a lot of work in front of you and you got to really start doing it. Captain Kharge, if I can bring you in, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me.
Captain Kharge, the BJP has also reacted. We heard what Ravi Shankar Prasad said. He said, "Badi koshish ki RSS ko ban karne ki vagaira," which you pretty much what you were also saying. But they also said that we are very curious to know what is the Congress's stand going to be on the hijab issue. So I want you to comment on that, because you see, in a way, Captain, all these issues at this juncture are not really important if you want a prosperous, happy, progressive Karnataka for the Kannadigas. But political parties bring this up for the next election, on the anvil. So I'm asking you that what does the BJP expect the Congress to do so far as the hijab issue is concerned?
Sudha, if you permit me to say this, I
Surely,
don't
sir.
think I can expect anything better than this from the Congress. It is their agenda, hidden agenda. They just want to continue with their appeasement policy. As an issue, if you start discussing, I wore uniform in the Fauj. And if tomorrow somebody says, I cannot wear this for some reason, we will not allow that to happen in armed forces. Now, in the school, to bring in the concept of uniformity, you are supposed to wear a uniform. And in that particular school in Udupi where it started, the children were allowed to come to the campus to the changing room in hijab. Only when they went to the class, they were asked to remove and go. This was the norm, and they had signed these papers during admission. They knew about the rule of law in the school. They wanted to create a scene out of this, and it was blown out of proportion internationally. So I don't think Congress will understand the logic behind the concept of uniform. They will only go ahead and propose. In fact, some news has appeared that they've already decided to cancel this hijab ban and things like that. They will do it. I have no doubt they will do it. They will, negate the anti-conversion law. They will negate cow slaughter bill. They will do all this. They have been doing it against our Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi's desire, against the constitutional desire. They will do this.
Right.
The cow slaughter is banned, was to be banned as per Mahatma Gandhi. Banning cow slaughter is the desire of the constitution. They have never done it. And they will continue with this. They will continue with this.
Yeah, right. And for the benefit of the viewers, let me what Captain said. The Karnataka Prevention of Slaughter and Preservation of Cattle Act which is under the scanner now, and we are discussing it. It came into effect in January of 2021, imposing a blanket ban on the slaughter of cattle in the state. The one which is allowed is terminal cattle and buffalo aged above 13 years. I am going to Shashi, and after that I will go to Lavanya. Lavanya, my apologies. I know that when Bhaskar was speaking, you wanted to come in. Thank you for your patience, Lavanya. I will come to you. Just let me go to Shashi. Shashi, I want to ask you this, that this changing of syllabus. Now, Priyank Kharge and of course the Congress party, even when it was introduced, they said all this is saffronization. You are an educationist. Do you look at change as saffronization, introduced by the Bharatiya Janata Party, or tomorrow if you have 10 lessons on, Motilal Nehru and Vijayalakshmi Pandit and Jawaharlal Nehru, someone will say, oh, the Nehru Gandhi family want to just give encouragement to them. How do you look at it? Do you only look at it from the prism of what are we doing to our kids, changing it every year?
No doubt, Sudha. That is what our worries are, because here the committee is formed, and in committee almost all the experts so called are not the real experts. They are all from different sectors to be in the limelight. No stakeholders are being invited. No teachers are being at large. If there are teachers, they are being concentrated from one section. This is what is happening now and then. Though there are several government orders to see that it is comprehensively put. That is why we also demand SSSA to be in place, so that we get natural justice to raise our voice. So, end of the day, children are being, like as you said, guinea pigs. They are being just a trial and error has been made on them in putting out curriculum also. So, whether it is Congress or BJP or any other party, I would really request them honestly, please do not do much politics, especially on curriculum and other things. Please follow NCERT guidelines and NCF recommendation, which was earlier also 2014, 2015 and 2017. Recommendations were not at all implemented. Now again, there is a new set of NCF recommendation. Let us look larger. Let us not bring children's in between. Let us not create hatred among their, especially seeding their mind, and see that everything is balanced. Especially we have to look into the every round, especially on respective states, scenarios, history, everything has to be covered, and there is a percentage how much to be covered and what to be covered. Let us talk about that. But finally, I would request any appropriate government to look into the curriculum, especially with respect to science and maths. holistically, and especially commonly across the country, so that the children of whether public school or private unaided schools are being given justice. Because now even in that there is lot of disparity, so we have to look into several other areas rather than looking at this either Hindutva or Congress or whatever. So
I know.
let us focus on that, and let us focus on what actually the children of today, not earlier days, today and for tomorrow, they need. That has to be defined, derived, and given out to them.
You know, education is also about knowing your cultural mores, as it were. The BJP keeps talking about it, beating the drum of, you do not know about heroes who are ours. I mean, I just want to make a comment. I'll come back to you, Shashi. Removing or rather rationalizing chapters in which there is reference to Basavanna, I think, is kind of short-sightedness, you know, or even like I said, Akka Mahadevi. These two happen to be my favorites, so I'll keep talking about them. Lavanya, I'm coming to you. Thank you for your patience. You waited up. You wanted to actually react to when Bhaskar was speaking. Go on, Lavanya.
Yeah, I have multiple issues that were brought up by your editor as well as the fellow guests. When Mr. Sashi was talking about the stakeholders, he makes a very valid point. And when he also talks about it shouldn't be politicized, this is something that came to my mind. You know, a textbook has been changed multiple times in the course of last 75 years. It's never become an issue in Karnataka or any other state. Why? Under BJP? Did it become such a huge scam? Did it become such a huge scandal, right? So I also want to know from the BJP, what is Rohit Chakrathirtha's contribution or achievement in the field of education? Is he an educationist? Is he an expert on it? No. We had multiple authors, poets, literary figures who rejected their awards. They sent back their awards saying, we object to these changes. And when Mr. Ganesh Karnik says, Captain Ganesh Karnik says, we are appeasing, we would like to know. So I, as a Jain, would like to know, when Mr. Rohit Chakrathirtha's committee recommended the changes, not only did you remove Basavanna, Narayan Guru, Akka Mahadevi, you insulted the Jains and their idea of Tirthankaras, right? So I would like to know, why would that recommendation be part of the textbook? Now, beyond that, when also we are talking about hijab, he said these girls created a huge ruckus. They were allowed into the classroom. The entire nation in the world has seen how, when these girls came to the gate of the college, they were sent back because they were wearing hijab. I would not like to comment more on this because there's a sub judice. Now, also, it is our commitment to Karnataka to give a clean government. So when we say we will give you clean government, we need to look at the previous bills passed by the government. We also need to look at the construction that has been ordered by the government, especially in the last 30 days before the construction. I'll tell you why. Because the 30 days before the election, whatever bills were passed, whatever was passed, the accusation against the BJP was about the 40% commission, especially by the contractors.
Right, Lavanya, you are reacting to what?
Sudha, I want to finish, please.
Okay.
Especially because the contractors had accused of 40% commission. Now, if we don't look into these accusations and set things right, then we are not doing justice to the mandate given to us by the Karnataka people, right? So when we are saying we are reviewing, we are not saying we are banning anything. We will review. And if there is cases of these things to be revoked, then it will be revoked. Just like how the sand mining is banned, right? License is revoked right now till further notice. There will be issues that will be revoked.
So Lavanya, if you finished, I want to also ask you comment on the anti-conversion and the anti-slaughter. Captain Ganesh Karnik said, and all of us who've read history, know the political history of this country, know that Mahatma Gandhi was a great votary of cow slaughter. He said that there should be laws which, should be very firm when it comes to slaughtering cows in this country. These two bills are also under the scanner. What's your party stand on this?
Sudha, see, first of all, as a nation, we have still not reached 100%, where we say all of our people are above the poverty line. We still have about 20% of people who are below the poverty line. We are a nation who cannot afford the luxury of questioning what is in another person's plate. We are still in a state of asking,
you are going elsewhere. No, Lavanya, you are going, I'm totally for, you want to eat your beef, please go ahead and eat. I don't eat it, it's okay. I'm vegetarian, you are not. I'm not getting into all that. I'm just asking you specifically, Lavanya, Balal, about these two bills, anti-conversion, where of course if there is coercion, where of course if there is, because let me not get into ancient history and who opened the locks of, I don't want to go into that. I'm just saying, what is there an amendment that you're objecting to in the anti-slaughter bill? Is there an amendment that you're objecting to in the anti-conversion bill, Lavanya, Balal?
I was just repeating what Siddaramaiah ji said in the assembly. And if I may complete, he also said that the farm animals are a kind of investment. We need to look at the implications of all of this, how it affects a farmer. So yes, all the bills will be looked at, reviewed. And like I was talking about the conversion bill also demonized a certain section of this state. In Chitradurga, when the BJP MLA said his mother was forcefully converted and the villagers in Chitradurga were forcefully converted, when the Tehsildar sent a group of people to find fact-finding mission, it was told by the villagers
Lavanya, there is law in Karnataka, and under your government, I think the law should work very well. Let the Congress not appropriate what the police and other authorities have to do.
I don't know why you keep interrupting me and not the other guests, Sudha. I find it
sorry, you are the first. I'm going to smile at you. Let me see Lavanya. Lavanya, I don't know if you can see. Not at all. You are such an articulate, wonderful young woman. I want you to attack where you want to attack. For God's sake, I'm the last one. Anyway, I'm going to call you after the show. I'm going to call you after the show and we're going to talk about your beautiful earrings.
No, not at all. I was completing how the BJP's fact-finding mission found the facts about conversion, forceful conversion.
I'm just talking about the timing of it after this stellar victory that your party had in Karnataka. Lavanya, Bhaskar, I'm coming to you.
Sudha, we need to correct the wrongs, we need to correct the mistakes to go forward in a state.
But I think, Bhaskar, you said, she said we need to correct certain wrongs, and I do agree. My whole point of this, despite the fact that she accused me that you're not asking others, my whole point is, like I have kept said this several times on the show, stellar victory, fabulous victory, unprecedented it is. But my whole point is, like you explained when I spoke to you a little while ago, you said it is dangerous, where on the one hand you speak about the prosperity of Karnataka, and on the other you want to really, revoke certain steps which have been taken, and you were looking at through the prism of infrastructural development, economic development, extra. Am I right, Bhaskar Hegde? So my objection is to the timing of all these things. Of course, you can do what you want to if you think you are right, but is this the time? And to play police, I think is not the time.
Sudha, I think you're right. See, policing is not the right thing for Congress to do at this juncture, because they had a very, very good performance in Karnataka, which actually enthused the party across India. So, and they are actually gearing up for Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan only because of the victory in Karnataka. So really good. So now, that said, now actually I would like to give one small thing. See what happens if you take infrastructure project or any project for that matter. If the file cleared at the last minute, yes, no doubt. As Mrs. Ballard said, they have a right to stop it because we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Absolutely. But my worry is the ongoing projects, if they stall all the projects. Because see what happened after 2004 when Congress came to power, UPA came to power. I am very, very, very still remember UPA stalled the golden quadrilateral work across India, which was started by the previous NDA government by Vajpayee. And almost 6 months or 8 months or 1 year, the golden quadrilateral road project was stopped across country. So we don't know what happened later. Then they of course started, and it took a very long time to complete it. That's a different story. My issue is what happens even if in some infrastructure projects or any projects from the very beginning till the implementation level, there might be some hanky-panky might have happened, some loopholes, and so many things might have happened. So if that project is at the advanced stage, if that particular, say, flyover project or some infrastructure project or irrigation project is at the advanced stage, only because suspicion of corruption, if are you going to stop that? So will it affect the entire model and send a wrong signal to the investors? Number one. Number two, how are you going to, because if that project is completed, say 75% or 60%, so what is the kind of investment we are going to lose? My worry is only that much.
Right, and very well put, of course, Bhaskar Hegde. He said his worry, of course, is, and he looks at it from the prism of development and really about the well-being of Kannadigas in Karnataka. What are we asking you? Is it Congress's bid to de-saffronize, all these issues that have been raked in, whether it is hijab, whether it is anti-conversion, whether it is anti-slaughter, and of course, the textbook review. Let me go to Shashi and ask him this, Shashi, what Lavanya said, I quite agree with what Lavanya said. One thing is that who is Rohit Chakratirtha? Because you see, the thing is, if you are an academician, or if you are someone who is an educationist, or if you have enough experience of teaching, but this particular episode was extremely controversial, and even Baswaraj Bommai later saw to it that the committee was dismantled. Don't you think steps like this actually push the state back several decades when you do these things? It's not about Hedgewar or Savarkar or Bhagat Singh or anyone. Please study everything. We all should have the choice to read what we want to. But here in this case, A, these are very young minds. They will form opinions. Number two, who is Rohit Chakratirtha?
Same question we questioned then the government. We condemned it because complete the committee, what they have recommended, what they have come out was absolutely not acceptable, because deleting something, adding something, what they need was nothing but just a breach. Because we again and again we said the same. You look at the research paper which say what type of quality books we have prepared so far, and we are that rather than or not need.
I think we are having some problem with Shashi's audio. We'll get him back, of course. Let me go to Captain Karnik. Captain Karnik, don't you think that, this entire exercise of what you describe as Hindutva has totally failed this time in Karnataka? So, I think, if the current government wants to redo, revoke, recall, whatever we want to call it, they have an absolute, logical right to do that, because look at it, hijab. I mean, lot of students from that community today apparently have stopped going to junior college or any other school because they are scared. They are very nervous. Of course, the matter is sub judice. We will not discuss more on this. But whether it is anti-conversion, where they said that, the police perhaps may play vigilante, whether it is anti-slaughter, again, some people will appropriate as if they are the police. They will go and catch some poor man who's maybe, taking some other animal other than beef across. So, I am asking you, this is your doing, Captain. Somewhere it's come back to bite you.
Okay, Sudha, in a democratic process, somebody getting elected to form the government, we respectfully accept that verdict. So, I have nothing against it. People have given the verdict and we respectfully accept it. But strangely, in this election, it is not that they have been thrown out. We got 8.25 lakh votes more than last year. Janata Dal got minus 15 lakh 35,000 votes. So that was statistically shifted to Congress, and that's a kind of sweep they had. So that is one part of it. We respectfully accept it. The second part is a democratically elected government has every right to implement what it feels as right. So if they are doing it, that is fine, let them do it. But what I am trying to tell you now is, this government, through a cabinet minister, whose portfolio is not yet, announced, has made the agenda very clear to the people of Karnataka. They are not talking of development, they are not talking of anything. She spoke about the 40%. I challenge the Congress government. Let them bring down the contractual rates by 40%. The Karnataka gets benefited. Let them investigate this 40% commission complaint they have been making for the next 5 years. Let them investigate and find out.
Right.
If BJP was taking 40%, the contractual term could be reduced by 40%, isn't it? Let them do it. The total outlay for capital expenditure exceeds 39,000 crores in Karnataka. 40% of it, let them reduce. We'll spend more money on development. I have no issues. But this particular government, from the very first day, has set the agenda of hatred. They want to bring down those issues we are referring to, whether it is anti-conversion, whether it is cow slaughter, whether it is hijab, whether it is National Education Policy 2020. They want to bring it out. That's what they said in the agenda also.
All right, Captain. But the point is that I think Siddaramaiah-ji is meeting with the contractors, or he's met with the contractors. So they are going in that direction. So, let's kind of cut them some slack, because it's just been...
Kempaiah met him even before election. Kempaiah said, I will document Siddaramaiah. Siddaramaiah's suit was Kempaiah.
Right. So...
Kempaiah, the president of Contracts Association, first went to Siddaramaiah and gave the details.
Right. So, let me come to Lavanya Balal. Lavanya Balal, what really actually shocked me also, and this is not the language or the Bani, as we say traditionally of the Congress party, to say the BJP does not like it, let them go to Pakistan. What is that? Where did Pakistan come from? Why are we talking about Pakistan?
Sudhaji, I'm not aware of who made this statement. I'm so sorry, I'm not aware. And it's not something that we approve of also. We shouldn't be saying such things. Though we have heard it multiple times from the BJP, but that's not Congress culture. I totally agree with you. Hegdeji was making very valid points as to if the infrastructure is stopped, the work is stopped, how does it affect the state, and what is the setback for the state? Those are all very valid questions Hegdeji is raising. And all of this wouldn't have come into the picture at all if BJP was an honest government and if 40% Commission Sarkar was not running Karnataka to the ground. And also, where Captain Ganesh Karnik made two statements today in the debate. One is he calls Kempaiah as Siddaramaiah-ji's stooge. You shouldn't make accusations like that, Captain, without proof to back that. He also threatened that let us see how they will ban the RSS, and we will see. Or to something to that effect. It can be construed as a threat, but I'm not going to react to that. But Hegdeji made very valid questions about how the infrastructure, if it stops, how it will affect the state. See, if law and order is not in place, Sudhaji, then the state will not progress, because only with peace comes investment. With investment comes job creation. With job creation comes this problem of unemployment is solved. Only then the state can develop, and then the GDP can increase in the state, and that is where our focus is. So if we have to look into, review and revoke a few of the bills that the BJP has brought into place, including anti-conversion bill, Congress is willing to do that. We are not here to take comfortable decisions. We are here to take tough decisions for the greater good of the state. And Captain Ganesh Karnik was saying that, when you're in power, you can take any decision. No, sir, we cannot take any decision like that. It's a democracy. If people say no to our decisions, we will have to revoke those decisions.
How wonderfully put. And Lavanya, you said that you're not aware of who said that the BJP can go to Pakistan.
I'm seriously not aware.
Can I just tell you, it is reportedly in a controversial statement, Karnataka Minister Priyank Kharge said that the BJP can go to Pakistan if they are unable to stomach a ban on outfits like Bajrang Dal and RSS. You're not aware? Reportedly,
no,
allegedly, this is Priyank Kharge. So I'm asking you, Lavanya, where is Pakistan coming from? What has Pakistan got to do with Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or anyone else? That was BJP's language. You said you haven't even heard of it. I'm using the word reportedly. Very carefully. But Lavanya Balal, if this is what you're going to put your first foot forward, like we all see newly wedded brides coming in to put the first foot forward, all of us have done it. It's such fun, no, Lavanya? So it's great. Yeah, it's great. I loved it. But then the point is that if this is your first step in Karnataka after a fabulous victory, my whole point is you're barking up the wrong tree. I think you need work, you need to get on with your work and do the work, and you know what, I've completely run out of time. So, let us see where the Congress's de-saffronization bid goes, considering we will have to wait and watch, but like I have said throughout this show, that they have a lot of work on their plate. The guarantees, they said on the first day, they said this is law, we are going to do it, and of course, several other things. This I do not think should be on their laundry list or bucket list, some would say. My thanks are due to Captain Kharge, also thanks are due to my colleague Bhaskar Hegde and to Shashi Kumar, and of course to the lovely Lavanya Balal. For all the news and analysis, keep watching News9 Live. Namaskara.